Hey Waffle Crew, I hope you're all doing great. I'm Mark, and today we're diving into more Reddit tales. If you enjoy these stories, consider giving a thumbs up, subscribing, and maybe ringing that notification bell. Let's jump into the first story of the day. This one includes an update posted a year later from the True Off My Chest subreddit, titled, "My mother-in-law shared gossip with my daughter about my marriage, causing a major upheaval in my life." It begins, "About a decade ago, my wife was unfaithful. I won't delve into details since they're not crucial, but I felt we both shared responsibility, so I chose to forgive her, and we moved forward. My daughter, now 16, recently learned about this. Not from me, but from my mother-in-law, who decided she was mature enough for family secrets and wouldn't confront anyone about it. At first, my wife assumed I'd spilled the beans and stormed into my office, demanding why I'd sabotage her relationship with our daughter. Their bond has been rocky for a couple of years, filled with arguments. She didn't believe I'd stayed silent until our daughter burst in, shouting that I was spineless and her mother had betrayed her. The argument escalated, and I felt like a bystander despite my attempts to intervene. At one point, I stepped in physically, but it only left my ears ringing. Eventually, my wife left to cool off, and I sat down with my daughter. She was upset with me too, but wasn't yelling or throwing things anymore, so I let her vent. She asked why I stayed, and I explained honestly, I wasn't a perfect spouse, shared some blame, and chose to preserve our family to protect her childhood. She listened with a sorrowful expression that unsettled me. When I finished, she shook her head, insisting I should leave my wife, claiming infidelity wasn't the only problem. She listed minor flaws, like my wife snapping at me for adding too much creamer to her coffee. Petty things, in my view. I told her these were trivial, but she kept shaking her head, arguing I was a victim and needed an escape plan. I tried to reason with her, but it led nowhere. I called my wife, but her phone went to voicemail. Then I contacted my mother-in-law, who said my wife was staying with her to calm down, unwilling to face us. Days passed without contact, though her mother assured me she was okay but emotional. I'm worried about my wife's mental health, as she's struggled before, and I feel I should be there for her. Edit. To those saying I shouldn't care, my wife nearly lost her life during her last mental health crisis, and even my daughter, despite her anger, wouldn't want her mother gone. My daughter said she hopes her mom never returns. I feel exhausted and defeated. I've done everything to keep this family together, yet I'm still failing. It feels like I'll always fail at everything. Princess Peach comments. A few points. 1. Your mother-in-law was completely wrong to share private marital issues with your daughter. 2. Some of this might be typical teenage defiance, but your wife getting mad about coffee creamer? You call it trivial. But how often does she overreact to small things? At some point, managing her outbursts becomes your burden instead of her addressing her issues. Does your daughter have a valid point? Significant Orange adds, that creamer incident sounds odd to get genuinely upset over, and it makes me wonder why your daughter and wife clash so much. Maybe your wife's behavior isn't just directed at you. Most Dad writes, OP, you might not listen, based on your replies defending your wife as a good person while dodging comments about her abusive behavior. Let me share my story. I'm a decent husband with flaws. 10 years ago, during a heated argument with my wife, we were just fueling each other's anger. I spun around and punched a wall. That act stunned us both. The fear in her eyes when I turned to apologize haunts me. I never meant to harm her, but it revealed my emotional struggles. Now, medicated for bipolar disorder, I handle conflicts calmly. If your wife snaps over coffee creamer, she might escalate from yelling to throwing things or worse. That's how it progresses. Talking fails, screaming starts, then objects fly. If your daughter calling you a doormat didn't wake you up, I'm not sure what will. Reading this, the mother-in-law's gossip feels like tossing a bomb into the family. What did she expect? But the wife's reactions, like the creamer outburst, raise red flags. It seems OP might have normalized her behavior, while his daughter sees it clearly. Just my take, but let's move to the update from a year later. OP writes, it's been a while. I might regret this post as much as the last one for different reasons. Thanks to everyone who offered kind advice and meaningful chats. I'm deeply grateful. Looking back, I never updated after my talk with my daughter. It went worse than I hoped, but better than most comments predicted. My daughter clarified her mother never hit or threatened her, but admitted the yelling bothered her. She began resenting her mom after noticing how she treated me. which fueled her rebellion and style changes. She appreciated me defending her new look, as it showed I could stand up for something. I chuckled at that later, but it confused me then. We talked for hours. She said she might forgive her mom if she didn't have to witness her treatment of me. I didn't like that and argued I could handle my own battles. She replied, "If I don't fight for you, who will?" That hit hard because my response, "Sometimes you pick your battles," felt weak when I never fought. I still planned to save my marriage, hoping to fix things because of our past and my love for my wife. But she stayed away for weeks. Maybe it was my daughter's words or her pain at her mother's absence. But I finally called my ex-mother-in-law asking when my wife would act like an adult. She said my wife was consulting divorce lawyers and suggested my daughter apologize to get her back. It felt manipulative, and I snapped. I hung up, contacted my lawyer, and filed for divorce. When my wife returned, pleading mental health issues, I was too angry to listen and asked her to leave. The divorce is finalized. My daughter lives with me mostly, as her mother moved out of state. She visits her grandmother and talks to her mom occasionally. Their relationship is slowly improving post-divorce. I don't hate my ex-wife, though many, including my daughter, call her abusive. She was my first true love, and likely my last. I'm okay with that. Life is fuller and calmer without her. Thanks for listening, and I'm ready for the "I told you so" comments. You were right. Introduction replies, glad she's your ex. Your wife was abusive, and it's tough to accept, but your daughter was right. I hope you're happier now. Leaving abuse is vital for kids. JT adds, asking your daughter to apologize, you're better off without her. OP responds, she wanted my daughter to pretend she didn't know, which is absurd. I wouldn't ask that of her. Karaoke writes, your daughter saved you all. Your wife was abusive to both you and your daughter. I hope your ex gets help and your daughter heals. OP replies, my ex is finding herself. Good for her. I never knew she was lost. My daughter is stronger than I'll ever be, and I'm prouder of her than words can express. She's the best part of my life, counted twice in my blessings. This makes me wonder what the daughter saw over the years to build such resentment. What experiences shaped her feelings? What are your thoughts? Share them below, and we'll move to the next story. This one's from Admiral U6963, titled, Am I wrong for confronting my sister-in-law after learning she demanded a DNA test from my wife? I'm using a throwaway for obvious reasons. My wife gave birth to our son 2 weeks ago. She's been moody and quick to anger, which I thought was postpartum. I urged her to seek professional help, but she refused, so I stopped pushing and focused on supporting her emotionally and physically. I didn't know my sister-in-law was secretly asking my wife for a DNA test to prove our son is mine. My wife revealed this while crying in our bedroom. I encouraged her to open up so I could help. She admitted my sister-in-law questioned our son's paternity, insisting my wife was trapping me. My wife, deeply religious, covers her face around other men. Cheating is unthinkable for her. I asked why she didn't tell me sooner. She feared I'd doubt her. I reassured her I'd never question her loyalty and a DNA test was unnecessary. I confronted my sister-in-law, accusing her of harassing and insulting my wife. She claimed she was protecting me, suggesting my wife's different religion made her suspicious. I told her she had no right to meddle or speak for me, and I asked her to stay away while we focus on my wife's recovery and our son. Now, my sister-in-law and brother keep texting, saying I'm unfair and she was just looking out for me, claiming many men raise children who aren't theirs unknowingly. I trust my wife completely, but my brother and sister-in-law won't listen. Am I wrong? Tipsy Boo says, not wrong. To shut them up, say you've booked DNA tests for their kids. Those who make the loudest accusations often project. SB adds, your sister-in-law and brother sound unhinged. If you're certain, ignore them and move on. Some people thrive on drama. Does your wife wear a niqab? That's a serious accusation in Muslim culture, questioning her character and your son's legitimacy. I'd get the test, prove them wrong, and cut contact. Zombie Gremlin writes, not wrong. Your wife and son come first. It's heartbreaking your wife thought you'd believe your family's doubts while she's postpartum. Block them and support her. Their actions are unforgivable. Slytherin and Proud adds, sounds like projection. Tell her you'll test her kid's DNA and watch her backtrack. Her comments about your wife's religion sound prejudiced, maybe even racist if your wife is a different race. That's deep bias. This feels like a situation where low or no contact is inevitable. The accusations have permanently damaged the relationship. If I were the wife, I couldn't sit across from them at dinner after that. They've crossed a line. What's the point of keeping them around? Easier said than done, but still. OP provides an update. To summarize my last post, my sister-in-law secretly asked my wife for a DNA test to prove our newborn is mine, though I never doubted her or requested it. I asked why only my wife had to prove herself and not other women in our family. She shouldn't have insulted my wife, especially 2 weeks postpartum when she's emotionally fragile. My sister-in-law claimed she was protecting me, saying some men never learn their kids aren't theirs. I said she's causing drama. I trust my wife, and I'm cutting her and my brother out to focus on my family. That was a month ago. I've been caring for my wife and son. She still refuses therapy, but is more stable, doing exercises and breathing techniques. Yesterday, my sister-in-law called, apologizing for her behavior and wanting to apologize to my wife to keep the family intact. I said I'd consider it. She asked me not to cut out my brother so he could meet his nephew. I told my wife, who's open to accepting the apology, as we can't permanently exclude them. I'm unsure about letting my sister-in-law speak to my wife. She's improved, but another insult could set her back. My wife's religious values make the accusation especially hurtful, and it bothers me that my sister-in-law, a woman herself, doubted her. Big Spark comments. Your sister-in-law didn't just cross a line, she obliterated it. Twice. She insulted your wife and questioned your marriage's integrity. She might be sorry, but forgiveness doesn't mean immediate access. Protect your wife. If she's truly remorseful, she'll wait. Slow down, one step at a time. Your baby isn't going anywhere. Give your wife more time to stabilize. Explain you're prioritizing her and the baby. In a partnership, sometimes one spouse shields the other from bad decisions. This is that moment. Block the nonsense and focus on your family, not the asshole. What do you think? Share your thoughts below and let's move to the next story. This one, suggested by Canada Frog on Twitter, is from r/funny, titled Pie Doesn't Have Tentacles. This tale explains why friends encouraged my writing. It never made my list since no orders required it. Early in my military days as a private first class, my battalion held fun runs. Miles of running deemed fun because higher-ups said so. It's like an office declaring Hawaiian shirt Fridays awesome when you hate them. After the run, we'd have a pie auction to raise funds for the battalion's family support group, supposedly to help soldiers' families during deployments. In reality, it felt like a mix of a sitcom HOA and a clique for officers' unemployed spouses, more suited to an 80s comedy takedown than actual support. Most soldiers weren't fans. The night before a fun run, I was suggested to bring a pie. Back then, a PFC's pay was so low, a kid qualified you for food stamps. My money went to essentials like drinks and entertainment, not pies. The Army's billions didn't need my pennies, but refusing a suggestion meant cleaning toilets. So, I bought a cheap pie crust, Cool Whip, a frozen squid from a Korean store, and sprinkles. Back at the barracks, I thawed the squid in the shower. My roommate was baffled. Is that a squid? Yep. Why's it in the shower? Thawing. Night. The next morning, I packed it in a cooler for the run. After 3 miles of fun, we gathered for the auction. I assembled my creation and added it to the pie table, tipping off the auctioneer. She chose my pie first. Bidding started strong. Everyone wanted to pie the battalion commander per tradition. When bids slowed, the auctioneer revealed, "This is a special pie." "What's special?" someone shouted. "It's a squid pie." The commander blinked. "No such thing." She pulled out a tentacle and waved it. "What's that?" he asked, reasonably. "A tentacle, sir." "Pies don't have tentacles." "This one does, sir." Bidding soared, hitting nearly $500, a record. No one punished me. Nobody wanted to seem like a spoil sport. Watching my commander take a squid to the face was a great morning, any branch. I love OP's style. High-velocity mollusk to the kisser. I hate forced fun days at cheap companies. One job tried Pizza Fridays, but staff paid for it. I refused. Why chip in for shared pizzas I don't want? It was supposed to build team spirit, but caused resentment over toppings and costs. The managing director's email claiming we provided pizzas infuriated everyone. People ate angrily. Share your stories at r/marknarrations. Thanks for joining, supporting, and spending time here. It means everything. See you in the next one. Take care.